What do you get when a sassy Indian goddess meets a stubborn Nigerian billionaire? Sparks, fireworks, and one ex girlfriend that refuses to stay in her lane. This isn't just a love story, it's a cultural showdown, a food war, and a fashion parade, all wrapped in one wild roller coaster ride. From mistaken insults to lavish lace and lehengas. Chai! Jollof will never be the same again. Buckle up because what started as enemies might just end with a wedding you'll never forget. The event is a lavish Nigerian wedding in the heart of Lagos. The venue is packed with elegantly dressed guests. There's an explosion of color in the decor, the sounds of Afrobeat music echoing through the hall, and the aroma of jollof rice and pepper soup fills the air. The entire atmosphere is buzzing with excitement. It's an event that screams wealth, culture, and celebration. Chibuzor, a handsome Nigerian man in his late 20s, walks in with his entourage. He's just returned from studying abroad in the UK, and today is the wedding of his childhood friend, Tunde. With his fresh, sharp suit and charming smile, he is the embodiment of Nigerian luxury and success. Everyone knows Chibuzor, and he's getting plenty of attention from the guests, especially the ladies. He's effortlessly confident, as comfortable in this world of luxury as he is in the streets. As Chibuzor waves through the crowd, he suddenly bumps into someone. "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there." "No, you didn't, did you? You almost knocked me off my heels." Radhika stands in front of him with an air of composure and confidence. She's not your typical damsel in distress. She's obviously Indian, she's got a sharp tongue and a fierce look in her eye, and a presence that can't be ignored. Radhika is stunning, with long dark hair, an elegant sari in shades of red and gold, and an aura of quiet strength. Chibuzor, smiling, said, "Well, I didn't mean to, but I'm definitely glad I bumped into someone as beautiful as you are." Rolling her eyes, Radhika responds, "Please save the charm for someone who is depressed. I've seen it all before." She moves to brush past him, but Chibuzor, not one to be easily dismissed, steps in front of her with a grin. "Hey, I was just being polite. We can't have you ruining your beautiful dress by falling over, can we?" Radhika eyes him, a sharp gaze scanning him up and down. There's something about his cocky demeanor that rubs her the wrong way, but also something undeniably magnetic. She's been in Nigeria for a while, having moved here with her father, who is a successful businessman from India. Radhika's father relocated their family to Nigeria when he took on a major project that expanded his business empire across Africa. However, Radhika, who was raised in a traditional Indian family in Delhi, wasn't thrilled about the move. She felt more at home with the familiar comfort of India than this chaotic, loud, and sometimes overwhelming Lagos. But as the daughter of a man with a rapidly expanding empire, Radhika was expected to adapt. In an irritated voice, she says, "Nice try, but I'm not interested in a polite conversation with you, Mr. Charming." "Fair enough, but I guess I'll just have to find another way to win you over," Chibuzor responds. Radhika raises an eyebrow and says, "You can try, but I'm not making any promises." Just as Radhika attempts to walk away, Chibuzor takes a step toward her. His curiosity piqued. His attention isn't just out of habit. There's something about this woman that stands out in a crowd. He can't quite put his finger on it yet, but he is intrigued. "I don't know if I've seen you before," Chibuzor says. "Are you one of today's cousins?" Smirking, Radhika responds, "No, I'm not a cousin. I'm the one who will be taking over the show soon enough." Her confidence throws Chibuzor for a loop. Most women in this kind of event are thrilled to be seen with a man like him. But Radhika's confidence seems more rooted in her own sense of self than any external validation. Chibuzor asked, "Taking over the show? Is that what you do? You seem like someone who's not easily impressed by anyone." Hmm, that's intriguing. Radhika pauses, smirking. "You could say that. I don't let my guard down easily, and I certainly don't fall for overused pickup lines." Chibuzor responds, "Alright, touche. Well, I'll let you go, but you'll have to at least dance with me before the night is over." Radhika laughs. "I'll think about it." She turns to leave, but before she does, she gives him one last glance, and in that brief moment, their eyes lock. A subtle flicker of mutual interest passes between them. Chibuzor, now with his curiosity fully engaged, watches her walk away, knowing fully well that he hasn't seen the last of her. Radhika is the daughter of a wealthy businessman who relocated his family to Nigeria to manage a multi-million dollar infrastructure project. She's grown up with a blend of traditional Indian values and the modern fast-paced life of an international businesswoman. Her family is well established in both India and Nigeria, but Radhika's reluctance to embrace life in Lagos has often made her an outsider. She's far from the stereotypical Indian woman. She's sharp, independent, and not afraid to speak her mind, which has caused tension at times with her family, especially her father, who expects her to play the role of a traditional daughter. Chibuza, on the other hand, is from a wealthy Nigerian family, raised with the best education abroad, but grounded by his love for his culture. His father is a renowned Nigerian businessman, and Chibuzor was groomed to take over the family empire. However, Chibuzor has his own dreams and aspirations, which don't always align with the expectations of his family. He's back in Lagos, but his focus is less on the family business and more on his own personal life and ambitions. He is wealthy, confident, and used to women falling at his feet. But Radhika is a different breed, and that's what makes her intriguing. It had been days since the wedding, and Chibuza had almost convinced himself that the running with Radhika was a run-off, an amusing, albeit annoying chance encounter that he'd never had to repeat. That was until he walked into his uncle's office that morning. His uncle, a business mogul, had just announced a major new project, one that would require Chibuzor to get involved. He'd barely sat down before he saw her walking. Radhika, standing there, looking just as sharp as she had at the wedding, but with a briefcase and a determined look on her face. She wasn't here to flirt or play games. She was here to work. Chibuzor froze, his jaw almost dropping. Radhika, here? He hadn't expected this. At all, he hadn't. But there she was, striding towards him as if she owned the place. He had to remind himself that she wasn't just a pretty face. This was business. His business. It wasn't that Chibuzon and Radhika hadn't crossed paths before. They had, but very briefly. A few weeks before the wedding, Chibuzo had been at his uncle's office when he was introduced to Radhika for the first time. Their interaction had been brief, cordial, but nothing more. Just a hello and an exchange of pleasantries. She had seemed polite then, but this time, this was different. The spark from the wedding still hung in the air. Radhika hadn't forgotten that encounter either. She remembered him. Of course she did. How could she not? The tall, confident man with the smirk that always seemed ready to turn into a smolder. The way he spoke. Radhika frozen, blinking in disbelief. Wait a minute, you here? For a moment, time seemed to freeze. Both of them stared at each other in shock. Neither had expected to meet again so soon. Their last encounter at the wedding had been brief, awkward, and filled with tension. But that tension had stuck with them both. Each had been thinking about the other in the back of their minds since that day. Chibuzor, trying to mask his surprise, cleared his throat. Radhika, well, this is a surprise. I didn't know you were working on this project. Radhika, raising an eyebrow, said, clearly, neither did I. I didn't realize I'd be stuck working with you. There was no mistaking the irritation in her voice. Chibuzor knew it well. It was the same edge she'd had at the wedding. The confidence, the sharpness, the unwillingness to be impressed. He liked it. Well, in a way. But now, with business on the line, this was just one more challenge he didn't need. Chibuzor, trying to remain calm, but the playful smile still tugging at his lips, he said, oh, come on. Don't act like you are not thrilled. You've been wanting to work with a real businessman, haven't you? Radhika scoffed. Real businessman? If by real you mean someone who spent his time making business deals while flexing his abs in expensive suits, then sure, you are the epitome of a businessman. Radhika's sarcasm hit home, but Chibuzor couldn't help but laugh. This woman wasn't intimidated by him, or anyone for that matter. And that, oddly enough, was a little refreshing. Grinning, he said, look, you may be stuck with me, but trust me, I'm a lot more capable than I look. Radhika crossed her arms and said, prove it then, but I'm warning you, I don't have time for your little games. We're here to do real work, not posture. The air between them thickened with rivalry. But it wasn't just animosity. There was something else too. A magnetic pull neither could explain. But one thing was certain. Working together was going to be anything but smooth sailing. 2 weeks later, they were both to attend a gala together. The gala was a prestigious event held by Chibuzor's uncle, an influential businessman who had recently decided to host an exclusive gathering to raise funds for a project that would unite Nigeria and India in the business sector. The project, a massive cultural exchange program, required Chibuzor's and Radhika's combined expertise. And despite their previous clashes, they were now tied together for the greater good. The grand ballroom sparkled under the light of chandeliers as a blend of laughter, clinking glasses, and soft music filled the air. Guests, dressed to the nines, speaking in a mix of English and a few Indian languages, fluttered between tables, each adorned with opulent centerpieces. Chibuzor and Radhika were forced to attend as the official representatives for their respective families. The night was supposed to be an elegant affair, but neither of them was particularly thrilled to be there. Chibuzor had been maneuvering through a myriad of important conversations all evening, dodging his aunt's relentless matchmaking attempts. And Radhika was busy avoiding the predictable Indian matchmaking aunties who had already started speculating about her future. But despite their best efforts, their worlds collided once again as the event took an unexpected turn. Radhika was standing by the hors-d'oeuvres table, holding a glass of wine, glaring at Chibuzor from across the room. He was in the middle of a conversation with some investors, laughing a little too loudly. But when he caught her eye, he winked, as though daring her to challenge him again. Her jaw tightened, and as she glared at him before rolling her eyes and walking towards the exit, Chibuzor noticed her leaving, and despite the conversation he was in, he excused himself and followed her outside. As the cold air hit them, Chibuzor and Radhika stand just outside the hall, their eyes narrowing as they both adjust their outfits. A tad too formal for the situation, but they are both visibly annoyed. Chibuzor, while fixing his tie in a frustrated way, said, I told you the colors were off. It doesn't look good. Radhika snapped, oh, now you're an expert on colors. You didn't even know what henna was a week ago. Smirking, Chibuzor responds, you think your henna can solve all problems? I can teach you how to cook proper food. We'll start with jollof rice. No complaints, okay? Radhika stops in her tracks, puzzled. Wait, you, you want to teach me how to cook? The famous Nigerian jollof? With a confident grin, Chibuzor says, yes, I'll be the chef and you can just follow my orders. After all, you said I don't know food. Playfully, Radhika says, fine, we'll see whose food wins this battle. But I'm warning you, my biryani will knock you out. They stand there, the tension from their earlier argument dissipating just slightly as they banter back and forth. Radhika is back at her apartment in Lagos after the gala. She sits on a couch chatting with her mother, who lives in India and has been keeping a close eye on her daughter's new life in Nigeria. Radhika's mother on the phone says, Beta, how is it going with that Chibuzor boy? I heard he's a businessman, very successful. Rolling her eyes, Radhika says, Mama, I've told you, we just work together, that's it. You need to stop matchmaking me with every guy you hear about. But better, her mother says, you need a man, you know. You're not getting any younger. And Chibuzor is a good match, handsome, rich, and is Nigerian. That means he has to be tough, yes? Laughing, Radhika says, tough? Mama, I can handle myself. Don't worry about me. Besides, I'm more focused on the work than anything else. She sighs as she looks out the window at the Lagos skyline. Meanwhile, Chibuzor is having dinner with his own parents too. His father, a quiet but stern man, is discussing Chibuzor's career, while his mother, ever the doting mother, sits across the table watching him closely. You are getting older, Chibuzor, his father says. It's time to think about settling down. This business partnership with Radhika, is it personal or just business? Rolling his eyes, Chibuzor responded, Dad, it's just business, trust me. I'm not looking for a wife at this moment. His mother said, well, you don't need to look too far, my son. You have all the women around you. What about your uncle's friend's daughter? She'd be a good match. Sighing, Chibuzor runs his hands through his hair and responded, Mom, I'm not getting into this today. Can't you see I'm just trying to get through this work with Radhika? If you're enjoying this India love story, please stay tuned for the next part tomorrow. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hello, friends. It's your personal person, Cha. Thank you for watching and for being a part of this family. Please like and subscribe for more wisdom tales. See you in the next video.